Mhm. This is a tutorial for how to play Classic C. I'll be showing what to do in hole 16, 17, and 18 with all possible wind combinations and pin combinations too that you'll see. So 20 miles an hour to 30 miles an hour with the three pins that you will see. This guide is mostly aimed at people running golf pro class. We'll show the most consistent strats available. But if you're a mid-level golfer and you're just looking to get like a sub 130 Classic C, then I think this will be a very useful guide for you as well. As I will show the best strategies available. So you may be able to get a sub a 130 in less than 1,000 attempts or even less. So now that I've said that, these are just my strategies. I've developed them over the course of over 120 hours of playing Classic C, and 60 of them being speedrunning and 60 of them being pro class, which is mostly aimed at consistency. So for this guy in specific, I will show the more consistent strategies, but if there are substantially faster strats, I will also make sure to make a note of them. And we'll go in the order of like clockwise. First I go north, then east, then south, then west. First to 20 miles per hour, then 22, 24, 26, 28, up to 30. So this video will likely be very long. I don't know how long it will be. I might include timestamps, but if you want to know like specific wind, you can probably use that to deduce where you need to go. And lastly, I will not be showing any hole-in-one setups or albatross setups. This is mostly a guide to get consistent minus fives. I won't be mentioning any setups. I may do a future video on that, but yeah, just for a minus five. So in this hole, our goal is to get an eagle. So yeah, getting an eagle in this hole with 20 north is very easy. You want to aim just around here, but if you aim right about here, you may know that there is a hole-in-one setup that you can do. Like that. I know I said I wouldn't cover chip-ins, but this is a classic. So you wanna, if you're running Golf Pro, you obviously want to get this. But if you're not, then you won't want to get this. So there is a very specific place I like to aim. Right around here. You can see in the minimap that the yellow diamond is just barely not touching the line. So if you aim right about there, the ball will overshoot. Or maybe not. I messed up my strategy. This is like a replay avoiding strategy, I would say. You wanna aim right around here. The idea of this strategy is that if you aim where I'm wanting to aim, not here, that's a hole in one. Uh, bad start to the guy, but doesn't really matter too much. Or you can just like over aim to the left. That also works. Yeah, that's more like it. That's not exactly the shot I like doing, but it also works if you don't want to get a replay. With this specific pin, because from here you just don't get a replay, you aim right about there, you do a more powerful putt than that and it goes in. But if you get any of the other pins, be it the left one or the right one, in this case you have the right one, then just doing the hole-in-one setup is your best bet. So you want to aim right about there, and you'll end up in a nice position to make this putt. It's not an easy putt, but it's more than doable. Right around there should work, and there we go. I'll show it as well with pin 3. It's the exact same shot, but the putt is just much easier. So yeah, you wanna aim like just for the hole-in-one setup, like exactly the same. There you go. And as you can see, this is a very easy putt.
Nice on.
We just shoot straight. Less power than that though. Uh, I'm not using my usual controller, so some putts may be worse than expected. Now 22 north. And 22 north is kind of more the same, but you need to aim for the right. You want to be like within this general range. The green patch of the lighter green. If you aim like normal, as you would aim for the
Nice shot.
hole-in-one setup, that will happen because the wind just pushes you a bit left. You can see here like the relative wind, like it just pushes you farther left, so you don't want to do that. In my opinion, it's best to aim like closer to the left of the border rather to the right.
Great shot.
Like sort of aiming right about there is good because you'll get that kind of shot. Um, which just sets you up to make a good putt with any of the three pins. I will not be going over them because we need to pick up the pace a bit. But the putts are doable for into the 3 wood. However, if you're speed running and you want to improve your times, I would suggest actually aiming further to the right. If you aim like that, you'll see that the ball stops way shorter. In this pin in particular, the putt is harder, but it's still very doable. With any of the other two pins, though, I will show it off. Not with pin 3. Let's pick pin 1 because it is an important concept to Classic C will succeed. If you do the exact same shot, you can still do it, but you run a greater risk of getting a replay. This is a 10-yard shot, it's not easy. I'll do my best, I probably won't make it. Something like that. Yeah, I didn't go in. It's a much harder shot. And if you do make it, it'll generally replay. So, not good. Now on to 24. 24, I would say, has a very clear strategy that you want to do with any of the 3 pins. You want to aim closer to the right of the light green patch. If you aim right about there, you have a bit of leniency, but you want to aim like right about there. You'll get this very nice shot, which stops quickly and sets you up for an easy putt in any of the 3 pins. So, strongly recommend doing that shot no matter what you're doing. Now on to 26. 26 is when it starts getting tricky. If you try to do the same kind of shot with it before, just hitting the bunker, this will happen. Or not, yeah, that happens. That's a very cool shot to get, but you obviously don't want to do that. Besides, that's a rare case where you actually hit the pole. Being like right about the middle.
Nice shot.
This will happen. You'll not only miss the bunker, you'll go out of bounds. Not good. This is one of the more precise strategies, I would say. Even a small deviation can cause a big difference in the shot. You want to aim further right. Right's like in the middle. You want the diamond to be in the middle of the, exactly in the middle of the line. What will happen is that you'll clip a bit through the leaves, and you get this kind of shot. You'll just barely make it into the fairway in this case. This putt is obviously very difficult. With this pin, it's not possible, and with the right one, even less so. But with the left one, yeah, it can be done. It's still very hard. But I'm gonna show how much variance there is. Now in just a tiny bit farther to the left.
Nice shot.
Tiny bit farther left. Now look at that shot. Instead of ending 21 yards short, we end up well in the green, maybe even a bit too far. So this is obviously a doable shot. And let's see, let's try aiming just a tiny bit further right than optimal. Like, right about here.
Great shot.
You'll land at the bunker. This is one of the tighter strategies. I haven't been able to find anything that I think is more consistent. I know some people personally use the 3 wood. I don't know how to do this strategy, I'm gonna be honest. So I kind of personally vouch for it. I think you need to do like a shorter shot. I prefer the precise aim with a full shot rather than just fiddling with different powers whenever possible. Like it's just more risky because the trees are in the way, so it's like not good. I think something like that should be good, but yeah, it's much harder in my opinion. I just recommend doing the strategy I showed. It works for any of the 3 pins. I'm gonna change to pin 2, but it's hard. It's a low tier win, I would say. It's not impossible. Very tricky. Just very tricky. For 28 North, it's the exact same strategy. You don't even really want to change the aim much. I'm gonna show like right around the middle. Oh wow, I just barely didn't make it. So yeah, this just goes to show the amount of variance that this strategy has. Or not really the variance, just the precision. Let's try again. That's more like it. Yeah, that's the perfect shot you can get. That's exactly the shot you want to get because you can make this putt within the 3 pin positions. Let's see, right about here. So if you're speedrunning, you don't really want to do practice shots, but this controller is not the best one, and I already missed quite a few things. So you just want to aim like in the line, like you want to be a tiny bit farther left than right. I think you can see like there's a line. You don't want the line to cut like right through the middle. You want the line to cut you like a bit far like left and right. Like if the cut is made into diamonds, you want it to be closer to the left shape to be bigger. So now let's just show 30 north, which is the same strategy. Exact same strategy. You want to aim right about here. Shoot. And there you go. More times than not, you'll like clip the bunker. It's a greater risk with 26 north. Sometimes you'll just end up in the bunker, but just barely clipping it is not too bad. It's a hard putt to make, again, but doable. I would say it's doable. It's better than nothing at the very least. I think I just like barely had a slight left curve, and that's what happens when you have a slight left curve. So yeah, this is 30 north. The norths are like one half of the north time when it gets under like 24 or under. It's an extremely good direction, but when you get 26 or higher, it's very difficult. Still doable. Now on to the northeast. Northeast, I would say it's one of the weirder ones because it has 2 very distinct strategies depending on where you have the left and middle pin or the right pin. I will show the strategies. Like in 20 north, I will show, or 20 northeast, I will show the one strategy first and the other strategy. So the strategy for the middle or left pin. You want to aim right about here. The exact aim is pretty much the same for all wind powers. When I'm right about here, in the bunker, like well into the bunker, just full bend left. You'll clip the leaves, and you'll end up here, in the fairway. With the left pin, this is a much easier shot. With the right, like you'll need to use your game knowledge to make this putt. It's a hard putt. Now with pin 2, the right pin. You actually want to do a very precise strategy. It's one of the harder ones in my opinion. If you do like here, a full shot,
Solid
just straight up
shot.
full shot, you'll hit the bunker. And Nigel won't be possible. However, if you aim at the exact same place, like just barely clipping the bunker like that, and you make like a 2.99 shot, that's a 2.9, that's barely too low, but you wanna like do a shot as close to 4 as possible without actually being 4. I like to call it 4.99 because that's pretty much what it is. There we go. That's a 4.99 right there. As you can see in the power bar, it's like not discernible. But that shot was a tiny bit less powerful. I hit the bunker a different way, and now this is an easy putt. That first shot, though, very technical. Very technical, very hard to do. The technique that you need to apply to do that is just something you don't really practice in any other conditions in the game. So, very tricky. I will show the same for 22. 22 with right pin is the exact same strategy. Same here. Try to do a 2.99 as close to a 2. Or a 3.99 if possible. If you do it to low power, you'll end up like that. This is a doable putt, but it's hard. Look, like even aiming so much to the right, I didn't get. So there's also a risk of replaying. So I'll just show it off again if I can. That is too little power. One of the harder strategies for sure. Getting right pin in general is bad. This is one of the trickier strategies that we, or at least I use, to mitigate it. It's doable, but as you can see, it's far from super consistent. So those are the two like main outcomes. You either get a really good 3.99, or you get like closer to the 3.95, and then I'm being to make this putt, which is hard. I will show with pin 3, the left pin. With middle and left, it's the exact same strategy as before. And I aim like, it's hard to see with the left pin, but you want to aim like, what I like to use is like, you want the blue line to disappear right around the bunker. Right around when the bunker starts. And you just full shot left. You'll end up right about here. Small piece of theory. If you're in this position, like generally right about here, you want to aim 1 tick left. Something like that. Then the power is just determined by you. There's a big upslope, you need to remember that. So you need to do like even stronger than that. But as you can see, it's not obvious, but the ball goes to right in that position. I'll show it off with 24 north now. 24 northeast. It's the exact same shot. With this powers, or with this winds, the northeast, the strategies are the exact same no matter what. So now I have this putt, hard, tricky putt. You shoot very strong, and you just make it.
Great eagle.
With right, I'll try again to do the 3.99. But it's just the same. Aim right about here. Do that. Small bend to the left, I did. Not ideal. But it worked out in the end. If you end up in the green, that's a huge success. For sure. You need to aim very far right. Farther than you may expect, and you just make it. With 26 northeast though, in the right, there is an easier strategy that you can do. It's like, it only works with this wind speed for some reason. You want to aim like right about here. You want the blue line to cover the edge of the bunker. Then just straight up full shot. No 3.99, just full shot. That'll happen, and you'll end up in the fairway. This is also a very tricky shot to make. You need to aim very far right and do a very powerful shot. It's doable, but it's hard. Like, sort of you trade off, you make an easier first shot in exchange for a harder second shot. You can still make the 3.99 by the way. You can still
Solid
make like
shot.
kind of shot like that, and just get a very nice shot. This time it was more discernible the blue line, I think. If you're wondering, if you're skipping about and wondering what I mean, go to the 20 northeast. Now on to 28. Or actually, I didn't show off the strategy for left pin, but it's the exact same, so I believe we can skip it. I will show off the strategy for 28 because it's actually a tiny bit different. There are actually two strats for middle and left pin. First is a normal one. You just staying like in the middle of the bunker. You end up doing like that. You get a nice shot for the putter. Middle pin is hard, left pin is relatively easy. Like that, boom. But you can make a first shot that is a bit slower, but the second shot is just much easier. Oh, let me show you. You want to aim as far right as possible, just very far right. Something like that, I think, should work. You'll just barely not hit the leaves of the tree. And as you can see right there, instead of bouncing on the rough, you bounce on the fairway. Since you bounce on the fairway, you go farther, and you end up in the middle of the green. Boom. Easy, easy putt.
Great eagle.
This strategy actually even works for the right pin. So I would say in this case, starting from 28, I would definitely forego the 3.99 stuff and just use the tree strategy. It's just easier. As you can see, it's not a free putt by any means, but the first shot is just more consistent. You at least give yourself to get an eagle most of the time. There you go.
Great eagle.
Finally, 30 northeast. It's the exact same strategy as with 30 north or 28 northeast. You wanna aim pretty far right, then bend left. This time you don't need to aim as far left or as far right. You can get away with a less tight shot. I'll try to show you something. In fact, you can aim too far to the right. It's obviously hard to aim too far to the right. I'll show off a different pin type. See? Yeah. Let's use the left. If you aim too far to the right, it's actually possible to... you can obviously click the leaves, but assuming you don't click the leaves, you can just go very, very far. This wasn't the perfect scenario, the perfect show off. But it is possible, so you just want to aim like right around where I showed. Obviously, with 30, this also works for 28 and northeast if I didn't mention it. You can aim like closer to normal and not hit like bounce on the rough like that. This is faster. This is a faster option, but it's obviously harder. Let's make a button and goes on. So yeah, that's northeast. This is a very pin-dependent wind direction. If you get the right pin, you need to do 3.99s. They are hard. If you get 28 or 30, though, you're golden. That's a very nice wind direction. Now, on to east. East, I would say, is one of the nicer wind directions. I'll use the middle pin for if each of these cases, but this strategy works for every pin. So you wanna aim like with 20, you wanna aim right about here, like right about here, something like this, and just full bend left. Oh, never mind. You don't wanna aim right about where I showed. The thing with full bend strategies is that sometimes different people will bend different amounts. But I think right about here should work. The point is that you need to be inside the bunker and just full bend to the left. If you do that, the ball will go into the bunker, then go out, and you'll land right in the middle. So you can see this position, like you can see it in the minimap, is very central. So you can make this putt in any of the three pin positions. I missed it in this case, but it is doable. You'll need to take my word for it. You can modulate the speed of your shots. The farther right you aim, um, the farther right you aim, the less the ball will roll. So, like for example, if I aim right about here, um, the ball will be on the bunker for less time, but it will roll longer. So you get an easier second shot at the cost of a bit of time. So it'll depend like what your goals are, what strategies you want to go for. I don't know why I'm missing this easy part. So yeah, now 22 east. Exact same thing. Except this time you don't want to be in the bunker. You want to be like just barely outside of it. Something like that. Or not. If you aim too far to the left, that'll happen, where you'll just miss the bunker entirely. So obviously you don't do that. I aim too far left, so I'll need to like be closer to like right in the middle. As I was saying about bending, some people just naturally bend more than others. Some controllers have different values of full bend. It changes ever so slightly, but you see, like for example, the aim I showed here worked very well for me. You try it and it overshoots. Just know that you need to correct it by aiming further right. Yeah, you can just make this spot in any condition.
Great Eagle!
Now on to 24. 24 is similar. This time you actually do want to be like in this green patch. That's like the perfect shot for an easy second one. Very nice position for 3 pins. You can make it, you're gonna take my word for it. Now to 26. I'm gonna change the pin location because this one is humiliating me. So I'm gonna pick the right one. Right. In this case, you wanna like be to the left of this line. You wanna be inside the light green. You just wanna like barely be inside of it. Once you get to 26, the risk is this happening, where you hit the tree. It's pretty much impossible for you to not hit the bunker anymore. But it is possible for that to happen. So if that happens, like just aim a tiny bit further right. Like that. Or not. Apparently I'm misremembering my own strats. I think that was strat for 28. So you wanna like right here in the middle. Somewhere around there. Yeah, that works. I was misremembering with 28 north. 28 east.
On the green.
So yeah, this is an easy putt. Very doable. The same thing about modulating your speed as in 20 east works.
Eagle.
Now on to 28. 28, the thing I said at the beginning of 26, well that's what you want to do, like this time. Somewhere around here should be good. Yeah. Perfect roll. You can modulate it again.
That's it.
But still good. I'll change to pin
Great
3.
Eagle.
And now on to 30 east. 30 east, you actually want to like be inside the light green by a little bit. Not entirely, not like this, just a little bit. Then you bend. 30 east is in my opinion the hardest because the ball doesn't, it cannot roll as much.
On the green.
Like this is a doable putt for every condition, but it's obviously harder. Even with the left pin, which is generally the easiest, it's a non-trivial putt. If you try to make it so the ball like tries to roll more, you would be aiming further left, like right about here. But If you do that, the risk is that you hit the tree. This time it seems I didn't hit the tree. Wow. Developing brand new theory in our eyes. So you just want to do that exact shot. It works better. Um, but do know that there is a very real risk of hitting the tree with
Great
previous.
eagle.
I'll try to be more flippant with my aiming. So I'm like right over here. If you're right about there, you'll actually do hit the tree. So be careful. So that's East. Very nice wind. It works with every power, but the aims with each power are just ever so slightly different. You'll need to remember the theory. If you do remember the theory though, this is one of the better winds. Now to Southeast. Southeast, definitely not one of the better winds. In my opinion, it's one of the worst winds. It's bad. It's really bad. You have too many strategies. This one works just with 20 or 22. Actually, I'll show off the first with 20. I'll change my pin so I can show it better where you need to aim. You want to aim very far right. Like right about here. You want to be inside the bunker, more or less. Then full bend left. And sometimes this will happen. If you aim too far right, you hit the bunker like that. This is the fastest way to play this wind. If you get the right pin, this is a hard but doable putt. If you get the left pin, that is a hard but doable putt. If you get the middle pin, you'll replay no matter what. So you'll need to look at the pin. If you're bad at detecting the pin, like from a reset, you can see that it's hard to show it off over here, but you can see the flag to the right. Like if you see the flag like very clearly, very far right is the right pin. If you can just barely see it, like here, if you can see it but like obstructed, is the middle pin. And if you just straight up cannot see it, it's the left pin. So now that you have that free tip, that's how you play Southeast, method 1. Method 2, you don't aim like inside the bunker, you like safer, just outside of it. Full bend left. This will happen. You'll overshoot the bunker, but you'll still end up on the green. Depending on like your playstyle or whatever. You may find this to be an easier putt. Maybe not with left, but with middle and right pins, it is an easier putt, I can tell you. So you can just make it. I don't know why I did a 2-point there. I wasn't trying to make a 2-point. Well, that's the second way to play Southeast. There is a third way. So I'm just gonna reset. This third way is the optimal way to play, but it's also the dumbest way to play. You just do this. You get an easy shot, and you can win. Obviously, you depend on redline RNG. So if you get this wind to make the best possible shot, you're down at 50-50. And the worst thing is that you can't, like, if you make the strongest possible redline, that'll happen, you'll hit the tree. So you need to, like, not make the fullest redline, somewhere, like, in the middle. If you make a redline that is, like, too weak, you have the potential of hitting the tree, or, something else can happen. I think I won't hit the tree there, or maybe yes. Yeah, I hit the tree. If you hit like the red line too weak, like obviously you can miss, and if you miss, that happens. You'll actually hit the rough. Not the rough. You'll hit the out of bounds grass. No, I'm trying to get like the worst version, but no, I cannot do it. I was getting too lucky with those red lines. You can see why this strategy sucks. Sometimes I'm just not getting the correct red line. There's nothing I can really do. Um, there we go, I think. Yeah, you'll bounce like there. Actually, that bounced on the rough, so it was good. I'll move on with this strategy, but do know if you redline too little, you will still make it, but it's a harder second shot. The third strategy is aiming like a bit to the right, full band right. Like you need to aim farther right than that. Like something like that. Not an exact science. Well, it should be an exact science because I'm missing, but it's easier with stronger winds. Maybe something like that should work. As you can see, I generally don't use this strategy. You'll end up right about here. And here the best thing you can do is just go for a driver chip. You don't need to aim. You need to shoot stronger than that. I can just restart that shot. Um, or I guess I'm just bad now. Like this is a double driver chip. You don't need to aim. I don't know why I'm missing it, but you can make this driver chip. As you can see, there's an inherent risk to going for driver chips. Maybe it was a 3 wood, or maybe not. I don't know why I'm not able to make this shot. I swear it's not too difficult, but I'm undershooting. Or maybe, yeah, I think like this is an easier driver chip with middle pin. So yeah, left pin. If you're bad like me, don't even try. If you're better at driver chips than I am, definitely go for it. I guess. You run the risk if you're like running pro, just messing up and losing everything. If you do make it, it looks like that. You don't need to aim. The ball will always go in, no matter what. You'll get a replay though, which is not good. So yeah, that is the southeast theory for the most part. You have 4 different options, but all 4 of them kind of suck. So um, I'll show the different speeds as well. And 22 has the exact same options as 20. You can aim like closer to the bunker. It's much harder this time though, because that can happen. If you wanna go for the bunker strats, most of the times you'll just hit the bunker and the ball won't go out. I think you wanna aim like right about here. Or not. If you're right about there, you'll get this shot, which is not bad. It's slow, but it's not bad.
On the green.
You can make that putt if you're better than me. Let's see. Like aiming here didn't work. Aiming here didn't work. So maybe somewhere in the middle. Yeah, something like that. You can make that shot. It's just very, very hard. And with this pin, this spot is pretty much impossible to get without a replay. Even like just doing it in general is very difficult. That'll happen.
Nice approach.
The other strategy, as always, is to hope to your favorite deity that you will get the appropriate amount of right red line. That's too much. You hit the tree. You want to aim like just under that. Something like that I think should be good. That's the problem though, you can sometimes hit the out of bounds patch and you will just need a driver chip. 29 yards I think it's optimal to aim 1 tick to the left. Oh, I overshot. That's very sad. You can make it. You can make it, it's just difficult. Like that.
Nice chip.
If you're going to do that though, like you wanted to get more red line than I did, I'll try to show it, but this is a very demoralizing strategy because it's a 50-50. You even get the correct direction. Oh, my controller is desynced. That's too sad. Oh. I think that's too much, right? Yeah. So yeah, this strategy, don't do it. It's a bad idea. Maybe if you're doing like classic C, you can go for it. But if you're doing pro class runs, then don't even think about it. What you should be thinking about, in my opinion, this is like DC strategy. Aim a bit to the right, just full bend to the right. You'll get this shot. Here with the middle pin, with the left pin, or the right pin. You can driver chip if you're better than me. You'll make it first try. If you don't make it first try, you'll be very mad at yourself for an actual run. But you can make it like that.
Nice chip
And
for
that's
eagle.
22 suckers. Again, you have 4 options. None of them are really that good. If I had to go for one, I would choose the bunker strategy. But it's the most precise, so it's very difficult. 24. Once you get to 24, the bunker strategy just doesn't work. At least not consistently. It's extreme. From my experience, getting the bunker strategy is just extremely precise. As I say that, I get it, but as you saw, I guess I'm developing new theory, but it's just difficult. You can also make that pot.
Great
It's
eagle.
very rare. Oh wow, not even replay. But as you saw, it was a very lucky pull thing. Back to the other strategies. You can still try this, and you can still fail at it. Or you can do the driver chip strategy. I'll change the pin because I want to show the driver chip with the right pin position. You want to aim to the right. If you aim too far right, let's say I'll try aiming more for right than usual. You can still hit the right tree, like that. So the aim is actually precise. There's no good way, at least that I know, like to know if your aim is good. There probably are some visual cues, you can just look at the video and figure one out if you'd like. But you need to aim like a bit, and it works. With this driver chip, you want to do, I think, 2 ticks to the left. Thing like that. I think this power is good. This is a very precise power because it's like 30 yards away. There you go. And hit it. If you don't do
Nice chip for eagle.
the 2 left ticks, what'll happen is that the ball won't go in. And so yeah, you don't want to forget to do the 2 left ticks. 26 Salafies. You can try the left side strategy. My success rate with left side strategy is low. Like the bunker, I think it's still possible. I think. But it's very hard to get it to hit the bunker and just go out. It's just very difficult. If you aim too far left, by the way, that happens. You just miss. So yeah, if you aim like the bunker strategy, the best you can hope for is for a birdie. Again, you can try this. The left side shortcut. Aim right. Don't hit the trees. Bad idea. Hitting the trees is bad. So it's kind of like that. Left shortcut is actually no more precise than the right side shortcut, I don't think. But it's trickier because you do it less, so you have less practice. You can still do this driver chip. It sometimes bounces out.
Great.
That's why I aim 2 ticks left. It doesn't. Apparently, it doesn't actually guarantee anything. But it's much better. If you do 3 ticks, then you'll hit the pole. 28. 28 is the exact same thing. I think there's like a very dumb strategy you can do here. Like just red line related. You like this is normal strategy with the bunker. The best you can hope for from there is a birdie. Um, actually like one line like right over here, and do like a tiny, very tiny red bar, and you can go through. But that's obviously a terrible idea. Oh, not quit game. Uh, let's go back. So, 28, I was saying. I'm sorry if this video isn't very professional, I guess, but it's so golf theory is very dense. Believe it or not, it's just a lot. I've already been at this for quite a while, and we're only in hole 16, not even halfway done. So I'll just finish with southeast. I think we're at 28. When we start. Southeast, you can do the right side shortcut too. That was my point. You can do this. Now, do not hit the tree though. I think what I'm showing off with this failed demonstrations, repeated failed demonstrations, is that this wind kind of sucks. This is very bad wind. This is just not the wind you want to see. If you get the middle pin, though, again, it's not a very hard driver chip. It goes in every single time. At least every single time I've done it, it has gone in. The 30 southeast, same story. You wanna do that? I think I'm gonna hit the tree. Or not, you'll make it here. You can make this putt with, let me check it out. You can make that putt with left pin, but it's very difficult. Your success rates won't be much better than if you did like the driver chip, I think. This driver chip is doable. It's 15 yards. It's like right on the border of what is possible and what is not. See, so there you need to like aim 1 tick right. That. Or no, that aim 1 tick right just doesn't go in. So I guess it's just as impossible. You can make this putt. It's just hard. Yeah, it's very difficult. So that is southeast.
Nice approach.
A very bad win. To be honest, if you can afford it, just reset this win. It's not worth playing. I'll be back shortly. Yeah. So yeah, that was southeast. Now into south. South, I think, is one of the harder ones, but it is possible. You want to aim right about here. If you've been following the video, shot by shot, you'll know that this is like in the middle of the bunker. and full bend left. You have this tree. We'll talk more about that tree later. With 20 south, it's not really an issue, luckily.
On the
And
green.
you'll just make it into the green. This spot is doable for every pin. The hardest one is obviously right pin. Sometimes you'll replay. So you just make that spot. That's 20 south. I'll
Great
change to
eagle.
right pin. 22 is one and the same. 22 south, you again when I'm like right about in the middle. Full bend left. And deal ends up right about there. Like already this spot is just not doable. At least not without replaying. Even with replaying it's very difficult.
Nice.
What you can try to do is do something like this. Do a non-full curve. I personally wouldn't recommend it. It's just way less precise. When I was doing Golf Pro attempts, I never went for that strategy. But you can do it if
That's
you want.
it.
24 south. 24 south, I'll change this pin because from here on, right pin is just not doable. You'll be hoping for left pin. You want to do pretty much the same. In the middle of the bunker. With this one direction though, like from here on, hitting the tree is a much greater risk. Here I didn't hit it, like, I think it's through luck, through yanks. Here wanna aim like less left than you would expect. Or maybe not. You wanna aim exactly the amount of left that you would expect. But as I was saying, hitting aim too far right, you can hit the tree. So be mindful of that, be very careful. Sometimes it'll go like well, sometimes it'll end out of bounds. So that's 24 south. I'm going quick with the south because it's the exact same strategy for all three of them. I'm gonna change the pin to pin 1, so we can better see the aim. In my opinion, this is the worst speed because you need to aim like farther left than you would like. If you aim too far left, you'll make it. Well, it's like that'll happen. You end up far, and this is like a hard putt. It's doable without replaying. It's just difficult. If you aim where like you usually aim, like right about here is where I usually aim. There's a very high likelihood you'll hit the tree, like this. Sometimes the tree hit will be good and you'll be saved, but obviously if you hit the tree, your odds of getting an eagle are slim and impossible to do if you want to get a replay less. So with 26, if you aim very far right, like to the very edges of what is doable, like right over here I think, do a very good shot. Like you will just barely not hit the leaves, and you will make it through the left of the tree, and this sets you up for a better shot, I would say. It may be like a small difference, but you will not always make it, but I would say it's very felt. So 26 south, be very careful about the tree. With 28 onwards, though, the aim is more lenient, and you can still make it like through the right side. You want to make it through the right side because you're slowly but surely losing distance. And if you're losing distance, what you want to do is like guarantee it's at least possible for you to make
Nice
this putt.
approach.
That's a dual putt. I guess I can show right pin. Here on, right pin is just absolutely impossible. It's not just not doable. If you get the right pin with south, you may as well restart because odds are very slim you'll get the thing. Even if you were like 21 yards away. This spot is very hard. Very precise
Great
spot.
approach.
Now onto 30 south. 30 south, I would say, is actually unplayable. I'll change the pin because we've already gone through how difficult that pin is. But even like with the generally good pins, you'll hit the out of bounds, and you'll land in the rough, and that is just not what you want to see. You can technically make that shot,
Nice chip for eagle.
but you'll replay. So yeah, 24 up southeast, 30 south are the wins that I would say are actually unplayable. If you see those wins, just restart. Even if you're doing pro class attempts, especially if you're doing pro class attempts, I would recommend restarting because eagle is just not possible. Right, now on to Southwest. Southwest, one of the nicer wins, in my opinion. If you're like 24 and below, it's very easy. Now we'll show off like with pin 2. Pin 3 actually. This is the exact same kind of shot you want to make with any pin. But I want to show that if you don't want to replay, you want to aim like on the dark green patch, right about there. In there, and you get the left pin. You'll end up around 7 feet away, maybe a bit more, and 10 feet away. But the point is that this is an easy one. You can just make it. You can get a hole-in-one. This is one of the other infamous setups, so I'll just quickly show it. Think the aim goes a bit like that. You can make it. So if you're running pro class, definitely go for this. If you're doing standalone classic C, definitely don't. I'm gonna show the risk of going for this go. Let's say that you were like trying to set up faster, you don't quite remember how well to do it. And you make that shot. What'll happen is that you won't make it in, but you will get a replay. So that's why I recommend you aim very for that. Now I'll show with pin 1. It works the same with pin 2. But like, you just want to make the normal shot right about there.
Great shot.
And you'll set up for a very nice and easy putt.
Nice on.
Very good. So that's 20 southwest.
Great eagle.
So I'm gonna show with pin 3. 22 southwest is another easy one. This time it's even easier. You aim like just barely in the light green patch, you can see the video. You will never replay this shot, it's just so nice. You'll never replay this shot, and you'll always end up with a very doable putt. That's 22 southwest. In my opinion, if I'm doing pro class, that is the win I want to see. It's the easiest win by far. Very lenient aiming, very easy putt. 24 is also extremely nice, but here you will start to feel the south influence. I'm going to show what happens with this, with right pin.
Great shot.
Because it's the hardest pin you can get. Here, this is what's gonna start happening. You'll end up farther and farther from the green. And if you get right pin, with the other wins it was easy for the most part. You can still make this putt, but the greater the magnitude is, the harder it will get. I'll like show off. You can aim with 24 southwest, recommend aiming further right than we're used to, like right about in the middle.
Nice shot.
So you can go like farther right, and it's just better for you. Um, you can end up on the green. It's very precise, and it doesn't really make a meaningful difference. You can squeeze like a feet from that shot, but it's not much. Oh, you can also replay the shot, so be careful. So I was 24. 26 is when things officially start to get a bit tricky. My opinion. I'm gonna show a different pin. One that doesn't suck as much. Like the middle one. Middle pin. You wanna aim like right about here. Like here the aim starts to become important once again.
Solid
Very
shot.
important. If you're not careful, you will bounce on the out of bounds patch. And that's hard. So you wanna aim right about where I showed. And up here, like now you're not even in the edge of green, you're just in the fairway. And you can make a play.
Great eagle.
So that is 26 southwest. 28 southwest though? Even harder. You're gonna aim at the exact same spot. Right about here. This one is where hitting the rough,
Nice
or
shot.
not the rough, rather the out of bounds, really starts to be an issue. There I hit the correct kind of shot. This spot is like becoming harder and harder. You'll not always make it. You'll sometimes, but not always. Here if you aim too far left accidentally, or too far right, also too far left,
Great shot.
you run the risk of accidentally like landing on the out of bounds patch. There I didn't land on the out of bounds patch, but as you can see, aiming too far left makes the shot unnecessarily hard. You can still make it, but it's hard. So that is 28 southwest.
Great eagle.
30 southwest. Here, your usual aim probably won't work. Because,
Nice
like
shot.
here, the south is so powerful that odds are very high this will happen. You'll bounce on the out of bounds and not make it. That's pure tragedy. You can technically make a shot like that, but obviously not recommended.
Nice approach.
There is a very specific aim that you can make, and you will make it to the fairway. I think it's right about here.
Great shot.
It's very precise though. I cannot say I can consistently do it. Like there, just barely don't make it. I think what you want to do is aim as far right as like the game analysis without
Nice
taking the
shot.
leads. See, so there it was like very tight squeeze. And you just might make it to the fairway. Even if you do though, again, 22 yards away. If you don't want to replay, the maximum putts you can make is from 21 yards away. So, tricky stuff. So that is southwest. 26 and below,
Nice approach.
very nice. 28 and above, very difficult. 30, borderline impossible. Now on to west. West is really hard. It's the most technical. Because the thing about west is that there isn't really a setup. All there is to it is doing a shot like this. Slight bend. You want to actually do like a 3.8. If you do a 3.9 or above, like I did, you'll go to the fairway to there, and from here you have no real good options. You can try making this putt. It will almost certainly fail, because it's a hard putt. You can try to driver chip, but I wouldn't recommend it. Oh wow, I made it.
Nice
You
chip,
can
eagle.
make it, I guess, as I showed you. but it's not easy. So like this, very tricky. Where I generally aim is like right in the dark patch. That's again a bit too powerful. You want to bounce in the out of bounds patch, um, and that'll set you up well. I'll show you. If my feeble hands can like actually do it, I'll show you how to do this correctly. Near my like right over here. That was too little bends. That happens. Too much bend. The exact same will happen. You'll hit the tree. Your shot is not powerful enough. You won't make it. But if it is like this power, and like shot like that, you can make it.
On the green.
Again, very hard. So that's 20 west.
Great
A hard
eagle.
direction. Let's see. 22 west. You want to do the exact same thing. As soon as I get like, you can aim here or you can aim here. It's up to personal preference. For 22, I personally like to aim here. Exact same kind of shot. A bit bended to the right. 3.8, 3.7. You'll make it through. You'll make it to the fairway. This is, I think this putt is just barely out of the realm of doability without resorting to like some ridiculous trickery, some ridiculous golf trickery, like hitting the pole and making it. So 22 west, you can try like doing the exact kind of shot I made, but just a tiny bit. That's full power. Full power, you can do it, but like here it shows that I'm in the fairway. But if I try and make a very powerful putt, you'll see that the ball actually went up in the air. So it's risky. It's very difficult. I want to like at least show one successfully. That looks good to me. That looks good to me. It's possible to hit the tree like that though. And to be careful. I think that doesn't hit the tree, or it does. That camera angle shows that out of bounds. That's too far bended and too little power. There you go. I think that is good. I think. Yeah, that is much better. Again, this is a very hard thing. You can make that putt if you're better than me.
Great approach.
20, now on to 24. I'll actually show like, I'd give it random, but I'm going to show pin 3. Because this is the easiest. You want to do the exact same shot. From here on, I like to aim like here in the edge of the bunker. So I can get away with doing more powerful bends without going into the bunker. I actually prefer entering like over there. Because from here you can make this putt. It's not super trivial, but it is doable. Let's see if I made it. Just barely didn't. You can make that putt, take my word for it. Most of these putts are doable, but one of the hardest parts of Classic C is making putts, and I cannot really help with that too much. Putts are just too situational. So I think that's a better shot. Yeah, you can see like that bend. Before, in like 20 west, we would have made it into bunker, but here like it's already very far. We end up farther left and we made like, yeah, you make that putt and it's easy. So that is 24 west. 26 west is the same thing. Um, you make something like that. You have to be careful about the tree. You can hit it. Like the further west, like the more powerful the west is, the more you want to bend to the right, which like sounds intuitive to me. But it's hard to know exactly how much. It's scary, which is why I like to aim like further to the left. I can like that amount of bends is good. It doesn't look like it should work, but it does. I aimed for left,
Nice approach.
but it can't make that one. So that is 26 west. Now on to 28 west. Exact same shot, just exactly the same shot. Aiming a bit farther, like the aim is the same. You want to bend a bit farther to the right. Like that is a good shot, I believe. Again, you always need to be mindful of that tree. But yeah, we made it into the green. Not that I know this is not like a precise setup, and I do apologize for that, but this is the best solution I have. Now on to 30 west. Aim at the exact same place. Here you want to aim, like not aim, you want to bend quite a bit forward to the right. That is good, you can make it more powerful obviously. Let's see if I can make this putt. It looks like I cannot, so I'm gonna try again. A bit better shot. Like you wanna aim the same bend substantially to the right. That is too powerful. You don't want to bounce on the rough. You always want to bounce on the out of bounds spot. Let's see if I can make this. Yeah, we can. So I guess that covers west. I'll try to like one more time, but again, this is one of the harder wind directions. Oh, no, good thing I tried again because that is a very good shot. If there is a shot I want you to get away with from this video, it's like the score 30 west is the better shot.
That's it.
So yeah, that is west.
Great.
It's doable. It's always doable. But it's very hard. And there is no precise setup. Now on to northwest. Northwest. Is there easy or tricky? It's easy in two situations, it's tricky in every other situation. It's pretty much the same thing as before. Except now that is too far bended. With Northwest, instead of making a partial shot, you want to make a full shot, 100% of the time. So in my opinion, this wind is a bit easier. You want to like bend right, go through the bunker, and up in the further. This is obviously like not the ideal situation you want to be in. That part is doable, as I've shown, but it's very hard. I'll try to show a better example of what you can do with 20 Northwest. Where exactly you aim is like up to you. Like I like to aim right about here. Like in this general range. Or right about here. I'm doing bending too far right. With 20, you actually don't want to bend too much. Like just bending a little is alright. That is too little bends. If you bend too little, that'll happen. You want to aim like the sweet spot in the middle. No, that's not the sweet spot in the middle. I believe another strategy that is possible is doing like right about here.
Nice shot.
No, not right about there. But like the strategy I'm thinking about, I personally don't use it, but you may see some success. Like right about there.
Solid shot.
Don't do anything. Just let the tree handle things for you. I don't like it because you end up there. Like with this pin, it is fine. Like you can make this spot. Um, but if you get the right pin, you're screwed. I'll switch to right pin now. So like I can show that my method works with right pin as well. I believe that is too far bended, or maybe not. You wanna like have a shot like that. In this case, we just barely ended up in the green. You can make a better shot than that, but it's trickier. So yeah, this like that is a doable shot for anyone pin. So that is 20 northwest. Pretty tricky, if you ask me. Now on to 22. 22 is the exact same. You want to do a virtually identical shot. Full shot, a partial bend, roll into the bunker. That happens. Again, like this is doable. If you get the middle pin. Oh, nice. Very nice, but if you get the middle pin, it's obviously gonna be trickier. Because if the shot ends up to like doesn't roll enough, you can replay. So yeah, you don't want to make that. You want to make a full shot. I believe that is a nice shot. Yeah, that rolled over quite a bit. That is the ideal 22 northwest. So that is a roll putt. So that is turning to northwest. Again, pretty tricky, very precise. No exact setup, but the shot you need to make is still precise. In 22 or 24, very similar to 22 or 20. Partial bend. This time you'll need to bend more, but it is still like partial. Something like that, maybe even a bit less bended. That is too little bend. If you prefer doing shots with little bend, you can aim like closer to here. But I personally prefer doing more bends. As you can see, I've been bending more right than too little to right. So I prefer aiming right about here. That's too much. Again. That's too much. Again. Like this shot still works, but it's far from ideal. That's too much. It's 24 south northwest. For some reason, really giving me trouble right around now. I believe that is a good shot. So yeah, you'll like roll over. Oh well, that's a very nice shot. And you can end up very close to this pin, which I would say is the hardest pin with this when. So that's 24 southwest. Tricky once again. No, 26. 26, you want to do quite a bit of bends. That is too much. But you will start to notice that the bends are getting very big. Like that would have been close to ideal with 24, but with 26 it doesn't cut it anymore. That is too little bend, I believe. Or maybe just barely enough? No, it's not. Like, you want to do something that isn't full, but sort of kind of looks like it. Not like that. My muscle memory is betraying me. Let's see. No, that is not my fault. That is just Recalibration. Little recalibration. I believe that is. Oh no, that is a 3.99. That's what happens if you don't do a full shot and do something that is clearly not a full shot. This shot is again global. I believe you have seen it many times before. But if you make it, it will cost you. You'll get a replay. I believe that is a good shot. Wow, just barely. But yeah, that may even be too good. Or not. You can replay from here. Like, this is a replayable wind, but it's mostly out of your control. So that is 26. One of the trickier northwest. One of the easier northwests, though, is 28. Because with 28 you can do this. You can aim right about here. I like to see what area of the dark triangle ends up. You take that. Full bend to the right. Then you make that shot. If you get this pin, well, you're pretty much screwed. But at least personally, that is the strategy I like using.
Great Eagle.
Yeah, you'll replay. Well, that is 28 northwest. I'll change to pin 3. So I can show it again. So I want to aim right about here. Full bend to the right. You can even end up in the green.
Nice on.
And there you go. That's 20 northwest.
Great Eagle.
Now onto 30 northwest. 30 northwest is literally the exact same shot. You're going right about here. Full bend to the right. And you end up here. Make a little pause. So yeah,
Great Eagle.
there you go. Those are all the wins in hole 16. I'll make a video for hole 17 for sure, and for hole 18 as well. But I knew this was gonna be long, but I didn't expect this to be so long. So I'll just cut it up. So yeah, thank you for watching. If you have better strat ideas, or better yet, like proven strategies, you can comment them. I'll check it out. Or if you have any questions, you can just join the Wii Series Discord and ask in the Wii Sports Resort Golf channel. Myself and many others will be happy to help. So yeah, goodbye, and hopefully this was useful.